What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video here on this lovely Tuesday morning. Today, I'd like to get into Brock Bowers visiting the New York Jets yesterday and Aaron Rodgers reporting early. So it was a busy day yesterday at One Jets Drive. Lost in the shuffle for me of the jersey reactions and, of course, Mock Draft Monday was Brock Bowers visiting with the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers reporting for voluntary OTAs. So wanted to get into that this morning and talk about the importance of both of those things, and we'll react to anything that happens later in the day. Now, also wanted to put out there, last time you're going to hear me talk about it because today is the last day you can get tickets to the Talkin' Jets draft party. So if you're on the fence thinking, I might want to go to the Jets, the draft party out on Long Island at Farmingdale at the main event with the boys, today is your last day to get in on the tickets. As a reminder, your ticket comes with open bar, buffet, which we're going to have a ton of different appetizer buffets, and I believe chicken parm. Ryan's a big chicken parm guy. There's going to be tons of raffles. We're raffling off one of the new jerseys. We're raffling off tickets to a game against a divisional opponent. We're raffling off tickets to a game against one of the NFC West opponents. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're going to have crowd cam reactions. Make sure to get on your tickets now and come and join us and have fun. Okay, so the Brock Bowers and New York Jets pairing, if you want to call it a pairing yet, because they haven't technically paired because he hasn't been drafted by the team yet, has been an interesting one over the last little bit. So they did not really start meeting with him or getting workouts or anything like that with him until very recently. So he did not participate at the original Georgia Pro Day because of an injury. He also did not participate at the NFL Combine earlier this offseason. He did visit with teams at the NFL Combine. The Jets were not one of those teams, but he didn't really do any workouts or anything like that until much more recently. Now, last week was the first time that he had like a workout for that people could come and see, and the Jets sent people there. Ron Middleton, the Jets tight end coach, was there, but they also hosted him for a visit 10 days out from the NFL draft. Now, why it was significant that yesterday was the day, a couple of reasons. One, the new uniform's awesome, but everyone reported, or a lot of people reported to the facility yesterday, including Aaron Rodgers. Now, there's been some speculation on how involved Aaron Rodgers is with some of the decisions, but if you think that Rodgers is in on guys who they are looking to draft, this is the start of that process, because yesterday was the first day that Rodgers was back. He spent most of the offseason out west, which is fine. You're allowed to do that. He's healing and all that stuff. But now he's back in the facility, and on day one, Brock Bowers is in the door. That is going to be an exciting time for the Bauer boys, as Brock is a very popular choice mocked to the New York Jets at pick number 10. I don't know if Brock Bowers is my preferred route, but is it a route that I'm going to be upset with if the Jets decide to take it at pick number 10? I cannot be upset with that pick. I refuse to be upset with it because the Jets would be getting a very unique weapon for their offense. As long as they go something on the offensive side of the ball, Bowers, wide receiver, offensive line, trade up, trade down, whatever, I could be convinced that it could work out for the New York Jets and that it's the right move to make. And for Bowers, for those who are maybe not as high on him, I think oftentimes it's because they see the tight end position next to his name and they go, oh, well, you can't take a tight end that high. Well, that's not really all that he is. Bowers is a weapon. You can line him up out wide. You can line him up as a big slot. You can line him up in the backfield, manufacture touches to him. He's a yak guy, so get the ball in his hands and let him do things yard after the catch. His NFL player comp is George Kittle, and I like Tyler Conklin a lot, and I like Jeremy Ruckert. I'm a fan of both those guys, but drafting Bowers doesn't stop those two from getting on the field, because you line Bowers up in the slot and that just knocks guys like Xavier Gipson and Allen Lazard further down the depth chart, which might be okay because there's some question marks about this wide receiver room. I'm excited that they added Mike Williams, but coming off the ACL, we don't know what he is. And there's some debate on when he'll be ready or when he'll be fully 100%. So if the Jets decide to go that route, to me at least, it's obvious why they might. Now, the second part that I wanted to get into is Aaron Rodgers reporting to voluntaries and why that's a sneaky underrated storyline, because he gets a lot of hate from the national media, and it's some of it I think is a little overblown. Am I saying that he's without criticism? No, no one is without criticism. There's absolutely things you can criticize Aaron Rodgers for, but being a good teammate as a New York Jet is not, or is rather, an area where he deserves praise. And I don't think he gets enough of that praise because it's much more popular to just dunk on him and LOL Jets it, when in reality, in the year since he's been here, he's been at the facility for voluntaries every single time on the first day. He took the largest pay cut just about, right? Like he took an insane pay cut last offseason to help out his team. Yeah, it didn't work out last year with some of the guys that he wanted, or that he was speculated that he wanted to brought in. Nathaniel Hackett wasn't good as an offensive coordinator. Allen Lazard struggled. Randall Cobb wasn't great. The whole thing, but it's hard to analyze it without Rodgers on the field. It wasn't built for Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, and Tim Boyle. I think Rodgers will be able to hide a lot of the deficiencies of Nathaniel Hackett. And again, I get it that it didn't work out with some of those guys that were linked to Rodgers in his past stop in Green Bay, but Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall are going to be heavily involved in this offense, guys that the Jets drafted and were not a part of Rodgers' past. Rodgers talks about the defense as being one of the biggest reasons why he wanted to come to the New York Jets as well. And you add potentially a weapon in Brock Bowers, or maybe you're moving up for a wide receiver, or Rome Odunze makes it there for you for the New York Jets. There's tons of different scenarios, and I get it. You know, Hackett as a play caller doesn't leave a lot to be desired, but I think Rodgers is going to be able to hide a lot of those deficiencies. But the importance of him being there and to build the chemistry and to set the example and set the standard is a good thing. I'm glad that he's there. Not every single quarterback around the league is going to be there for voluntary workouts this early in the process. And, you know, it's not something that he did at the end of Green Bay. And I get it. He wasn't very happy with how things ended. But to me, there's no denial that since he's been with the New York Jets, he's put the effort in. And that goes a long way for me. And I just hope that other people realize that as well. And I wish the national media would recognize it a little bit more. So that's going to do it for me in this video. Just want to react to these two things this morning. We'll get into more later as the day goes on. Make sure to follow along on social media if you aren't already. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video before you go, and I'll catch you next time.